welcome to episode 84 of the Broadway Shuffle. We've got Zyler, Clayton, and Conrad here. I'm your host, Brennan, and today we are joined by a special group of ladies. The wives of Texas Tech football are here to join the show. We've got Debbie McGuire, Jackie Fegan, Jeri McGuire, and Aisha Johnson. Ladies, welcome to the Broadway Shuffle. How are y'all doing today?
Great. Thanks for having us.
Well, it's great. Yeah, it's great having all of you guys. You're all in one room if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, and you can see them on the screen. They're all hanging out, and it's just we're so thankful to have you on the Broadway Shuffle. So, and then Jackie, you have heard of the Broadway Shuffle before, so you're a listener of the show, correct?
I am. I'm an avid listener.
That is great. Well, we're glad to have the three others as new fans of the show. So, Zyler, I want to go to you first, man, for our first question for all of them. Why don't you kick us off with our first question of the night?
Yeah, all of us are kind of avid followers of the football team, and as such, you follow social media, you see a lot of the stuff, and you start to familiarize yourself with the coaches' wives, things like that. What is that like, kind of stepping into the limelight at a D1 university, a Power 5 university? Is it hard kind of stepping into that? Is that a role that you embrace? Is it fun? Talk a little bit about that, about being in that role as a coach's wife at a big-time football school.
Am I going?
Anyone can go.
That's you.
We need to have like some kind of buzzer so we'll know, because we can all start talking at once.
Sure.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, for us, we'd only been at Baylor. That was our first stop and only stop. And so when we came here, it's quite different than there. I mean, we love Texas Tech. It's all about Texas Tech. Lubbock is, I mean, if you have on a different school color or anything, you're noticed. At Baylor, it wasn't like that. So we love that it's all about Texas Tech here.
And I'll say for the three of us, we've been to some other places. So Tech is not our first stop, and probably the most seasoned is this one, going to all the places. But fun fact, Aisha and I have been together at another place we won't mention.
Years ago.
But yeah, years ago. So it's kind of fun because being a part of a family like this one is no other.
And I think we'll come back to that in a sec. Aisha, I wanted to go to you for this question. You guys have been, truly all over the country. I listed it out, but you guys have been, since 2011, you were in Houston, you're in A&M, you're in DFW, you're in Kansas, Houston, back to Waco, then back to Lubbock. You've been all over the place. What is that like, raising a family, being a part of that, trying to get involved in the community, and then 2 years later, you're going somewhere else? Talk a little bit about that. I know that's got to be tricky.
I mean, it'll be what you make of it. So you just have to have a good attitude. And for us, that's why I told my husband, if you love it, then I love it. So let's just keep on doing what you love to do. And we're always there to support you. So you just have to be really good at picking up the pieces, remolding them. I say everything's modular, just like the couches we have in our houses now.
Sure.
Going on in our life. So we just move the pieces where they need to be moved. So as far as you just need to be adaptable. And I think too, just having different backgrounds that I come from, whether it's racial or cultural, that has taught me to adapt and make the best of the people you're around. It's going to be fun if you make it fun. It'll really suck if you want it to suck. So with children too, you just have to let your spirit be almost contagious so that they learn that this is really cool too. You can have friends here, but then you can have friends somewhere else too. And then you guys can all meet up. And so that's how we are too. So they see it from example, and yes, it gets trickier, and Jeri will maybe know a little bit more she'll be able to tell you a little bit more than I know about the ages that get tricky. For us, if they're little, I mean, they don't have a say. They'll have a Chuck E. Cheese wherever we're going, and you'll be okay. So when you get into grade school, it just gets trickier. So you have to remember your non-negotiables. And if you have each other, you have love, or you find the new love, the new friends, the new sisters, then it always ends up working out.
That's great.
And Jeri, I wanted to just, kind of touch on that. And this will be sort of a follow-up question. I wanted to hear about the ages and how that works with kiddos. But also, you guys have been plenty of places too. And I know Lubbock's got to clearly be the favorite one. But what's been the hardest place for you guys to leave?
Oh, man. That's tough. We've liked everywhere we've lived. I do think this is probably not going to be a very popular answer, but USC was pretty tough. We lived in LA for a year. Clay was there for a season with Clay Hilton.
Mhm.
And that was tough. That was a tough move for the kids. Coming from, we were at Texas State, and that was a big move from San Marcos to USC. But like Aisha was saying, it is what you make of it. And I just took hold of it and said, you know, we get to live in LA. Not many people want to live here, but
Sure.
most of it. And my oldest daughter she's 17 now, but she kind of caught the fever for beach volleyball there. And
Oh man.
and it kind of like blossomed into this love for that sport. And now she's going to college to play. So
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Great.
Congrats. Where's she heading?
do what?
Where's she going?
She's going to Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
Very cool.
Congratulations.
Very cool. Go
Very
Islanders.
nice.
Go Islanders.
Yes.
Hey, Georgia.
Yeah, I lived in LA for a year as well, and a year was plenty of time. Enjoyed it, but was ready to get back to Texas because Texas is home. So wanted to ask as well about going out. Obviously, you're recognized in the public in some form or fashion. What's that been like? Do you ever have run in with fans or different people that say different things, or what's that like getting recognized? I'm sure it happens at some point or another.
Well, everybody here, I think, is so kind.
Mhm.
We do. I mean, don't go anywhere that Joey's not recognized here in Lubbock. And in fact, some of us were in St. Martin, and we're out in the ocean, and a couple of us had on our double T hats, and it started a whole conversation. Where were they from? California or Florida? Where were they from? Anyway, like Joey says, there's Red Raiders everywhere, but everybody is so nice. I mean, we really hope we never leave. We've made great friends here, and nobody said anything unkind to us yet. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Good.
Well, that's good.
We'll keep it that way. We'll keep it that way.
Don't.
Let us know if they do, and we'll go after them on the Broadway Shuffle.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Thanks.
We take attacks personally, and so we'll make it personal. We have no problem getting in the trenches like that. So
Well,
you just
I've
let us
seen
know.
stuff that has been said. They just have not said it to me in person.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Okay. Very nice.
But
Keyboard
just
warriors.
fans, we respect that.
Yeah.
Nice. What's y'all's favorite part about Lubbock compared to, I guess, some of the other stops that y'all have been at? Or what's different? What's a differentiator about Lubbock?
The people.
For sure. Mine is what Debbie said, like come into a city where really like the whole town is rooting for the school. And so to be a part of what excites the city is really cool, because we've been in other big cities, sure. So it wasn't the football team or the school wasn't the identity of the town almost in the most beautiful way. So here, like, they want to see Tech succeed. And so that is a really contagious, cool vibe to be a part of.
Yeah, it's a special place. I'm from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and the people I always tell my wife and my friends, I'm like, get me to Lubbock. It's just a different vibe. It's a different culture out there. Everyone's so nice, and you just notice the difference in West Texas, which is great. But I wanted to go back to something y'all touched on I think Debbie, you mentioned it, like you notice what people say online. How hard is that? Obviously, being a coach's wife, you're not immune to seeing what people say when you lose on a weekend or anything like that. Is it hard within the home? I mean, or within just like talking about or seeing it, people saying things about your family and friends, or are you able to kind of tune it out? And all of you are welcome to answer this question. Hey guys, before we get back to the video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Broadway Shuffle. Thank you. Now back to the show.
I would love to say it's not hard, but it is.
Mhm.
I mean, you do take it personally, and we do see stuff. This one is Jackie and I have been friends for over 20 years. In fact, Joey and I introduced them. Kenny and Joey, I'm sure y'all have heard Joey say that they're just the best of friends. And so she is very protective. And so she'll calm me down on a Saturday. On social media, and I try my best, but it is hard. It's hurtful.
Yeah.
And my son's on staff now, so
Right.
that's gonna be that's gonna be super.
Which is exciting. I didn't even think about
that's
it. Yeah,
awesome.
Congratulations on that as well too. Yeah.
It is.
I know it's difficult here. We get made fun of a lot online, because we say dumb things on the internet. And it's our finger. It's easy to want to say something back. It's right. I'm not.
No,
and we don't get nearly what you guys are probably used to. We get Colorado fans getting angry at us, so it's nice. I'm sure it's difficult.
on your
Well,
perspective?
it's mostly, I mean, they don't know, they know Debbie, but they like going out in public, that question, they're going to know Debbie. They don't typically know us.
We can blend in a little bit.
Yeah, we can kind of, blend. But when we see things, it's always about the husband. And, you know, we just have to, I think you say you just don't care.
I don't.
I was waiting to bother her.
It glazes right over me because most of them are people who don't actually know what's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of with
I'm
Jeri.
like, meh.
Doesn't.
And I don't have.
I was about to
social.
say, you don't
So
have any social
my
media.
approach has been I don't have any socials. So I am joining y'all's social media platform, but I don't have
There
any
you
social.
go.
If you're not calling me, you're not in my house. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a good way to do
That's
it.
a great
You know,
way.
It's a great way to live. Yeah.
Jackie, I have a question, but
So
you know, kind of comment that I think about, you know, my wife, she'll defend me on certain stuff. And I think it's just part of, you know, the husband wife relationship. And she'll defend me on stuff. And, you know, later I'll tell her like, hey, listen, you know, I'm in the wrong there. You don't have to defend me for that. You know, like I was the one in error. And so I can only imagine being in your perspective when people are saying things that are patently untrue. You know, there's just stuff that you see out there, and it truly is ridiculous. So respect to you guys for showing the restraint, for being professional about the way that you carry yourself. That's really, really, really impressive, and I know that's not easy. You know, Jackie, you guys have been in the profession a while. You know, what have been some things in the last 5 to 10 years? You know, they're always talking about how college football's changed so much. How has it changed for, you know, kind of the coaches' families in the last 5 to 10 years? What are some of the things that we as fans don't really notice that affect the coaching family in the last 5 to 10 years?
I would say, you know, it's almost now 365 days, like the
Really?
recruiting piece. And now you sprinkle in the portal. They're always gone. They're always recruiting. They're always on the phone, except, you know, those few times when they can't. I mean, this is our heavy month. We've got recruiting going on. We've got camps, and you're always looking at, you know, now we're looking at 28. So where before there was like one major signing day for high school and the focus was more on high school, now it's the focus is everywhere. And so that makes it hard at home. Plus Kenny and I have a deal. We don't talk business. And so sometimes I have to kind of lean on my sisters here about what's going on, and which is a great thing to have that. And so it can kind of feel disjointed at times at home because of all the changes. Then you have also the sisterhood that can pull you together. So
And we're a really close staff.
Yeah.
I mean, the wives, and we do a lot of stuff together.
You know, Jackie, I just one follow up on that. You know, you talk about, you know, you don't talk business at home, and that's got to be, you know, I think that's an excellent role. This is obviously not a profession that I work in or am familiar with. Is that hard when it's such a consuming part of it? You know, it's what they're doing, like you said, 365 days a year, and it's just like, yeah, we don't talk about that. And I know it's probably not that dramatic, but how do you kind of implement that practically? What does that look like?
We just don't. I mean, I poke a little bit, but it's a hard rule in our house.
Wow.
And so again, that's why I kind of go on social media sometimes, or I talk to my friends here. But yeah, it's not hard when it's a hard rule.
Okay.
I've gotten braver over the last couple of years. So I'll ask a few more questions, and so, but it's pretty easy when it's the rule, because it's just the football life is so consuming anyway. It's better to I don't know, for us it's better to just not talk about it.
See,
Yeah.
Everyone's got that rule.
Safe space. So I just pretend that about football.
That's all we talk about.
And I talk to him about all the other that I'm doing under my umbrella, and then I leave the one thing. He does more than one thing, but then I leave football out of the daily conversations because there's a lot more to catch up on.
Yeah,
so I'm like, well, did your son clog the toilet? So I know what you got.
So y'all do need to talk.
Things going on.
Yeah, these two have kiddos.
That's
and
true.
Ours are we're empty nesters.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all we have to talk about.
Yes. Yeah. See, Jenny, that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, what's one thing? I mean, I know we've talked about a little bit how it's changed, but what's one thing that you wish that people, that the public, that the fan base of the university understood about coaches, but also players that maybe they just kind of overlook sometimes?
That they read and they see and they hear, and they're humans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very close with our players, and they do take the losses very, very, very hard. And, what's hard for me to read or see is when they talk about, well, they're getting paid now. They are still kids. They have feelings. Joey always says it doesn't bother him, the talk, and maybe it doesn't. It bothers me, but it sure does bother our players.
It was, one of the things that was striking, we talked with CJ Baskerville last year, and he was talking about being one of the leaders on the team. And, since he was a 21-year-old, he's one of the old guys. And it's shocking to hear somebody actually say that, that's a kid. It's just so interesting. But, Debbie, I'll put you on the spot here. You're going to have to name somebody. You're close with all the players. Who's the funniest one on the team? Who's got the best sense of humor of those guys?
I'd probably say Kason Long is the funniest one.
Okay, local Lubbock kid.
He's a shallow water boy.
He is a jabberjay. I mean, when we have him over here, he's picking on somebody. He and Jalen Conyers, they'd always find themselves in the kitchen. Usually they're out there with Joey or whatever, but they were in the kitchen and they're just picking at each other. I mean, Kason is always finding somebody to rag on, but he is so cute, and he's so funny. Don't ask me who my favorite is. I'm not gonna.
I would never do that. I wouldn't dare.
We started watching practices, and I'm like, I need a face sheet. We have so many new big jokers that I've got to learn who they are, and then they go and change their numbers on me. But that is important to me. That's a big mission to know all the players' name, position, and number.
Yeah,
very cool.
Told us,
She's
you
great
guys,
at
wives,
that.
like, hey, go tell them, like, personally, like, I like that catch you did that I saw on that third down, or So
it means a lot when you say, don't just talk to number two.
You said good game.
Yes.
Like, what did you like about their game?
Yeah.
I remember you said that.
And I'll also say, with that other question about, what can we tell the fans? What do they need to know about the players? In a positive way, know that these kids are going to play so hard for that double team. So I need the fans to understand that they are working their tails off for you.
That's awesome.
Nice. You guys mentioned the players taking losses pretty hard. I'm sure y'all do too. What is y'all's, like, how does the weekend change after a win versus a loss?
On the road or at home or both?
I guess
so
both.
We always have family, friends over after a win at our house for a home game. And it's just none of that. And it's a tough night for us when we have people that are staying with us, because we don't celebrate. There's nothing to celebrate. And if we have a house full, say it's a day game, I mean, Joey goes back to his room and that's where he'll end up staying. So, and on the road, it's a very, very quiet plane ride home.
But on the positive, when we win, it's a celebration.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. We plan on doing that a lot.
We'll be doing that a lot this year.
Yes.
Well, on that note, what's the celebration going to be like after we win the Big 12 this year?
Oh my God.
Can we say?
I don't think we put that on the air. Can we?
It's going to happen.
Would it be
Somebody over to our house after.
Yes.
Lubbock.
I think Lubbock would it be equivalent to the 2019 Final Four run, or do you think it'd be worse?
I think it'd be.
I think it'd be
way
way
worse.
It'd be way worse. It'd be.
There'd be a lot of
It'd be next
fire
level.
going on. I'm sure. Yeah.
We do not endorse that here on the show, though.
Cars flipped over. I'm not telling anyone what not to do.
All the things. I want it all. I want all of it.
I love that. That's the energy we need. I wanted to also see, like, if you've been in Lubbock, I wanted a transition a little bit to Lubbock. We've talked a lot about it. What is your favorite memory? Y'all have lived all over. You've been in, I know, Debbie, you've been in Waco, and you've already said without saying that Lubbock's way better than Waco, so we appreciate you saying that. But what is your favorite memory or part of Lubbock so far that you've had being in West Texas?
Oh gosh. Besides like the wins, I mean, I loved the Oklahoma win and the Texas win,
Mhm.
you know, our first year here. Those were so
Yeah.
cool.
I
I mean, one of the, go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, one of the things for us that we did like right after we had gotten here, we got here in November. And so in December, we were asked to be in the parade. And Joey was like the master of, what's it called? What is it when you're not master of ceremonies, but
that'll work.
Marshal, right?
Marshal.
Something like
There you
that.
go.
Okay.
That was when I really, it was just an aha moment that we're here. This is real. People are excited that we're here. Because I mean, you look at where we have been, by all accounts. I mean, Joey was in high school for 20 years, at Baylor for 5, and now he's the head coach at one of the largest universities around. And so for us, it took a minute to really sink in.
And anyone else?
I would say besides the wins, because those are way up there.
Yeah.
But the new facility, I mean, that's
Awesome.
I don't even have
yeah.
the new facility and women behind the brand.
Yeah.
That's a time.
That was yeah.
It's like you're reading our next question that we had for you guys. The next it's like you can see it through us here, because our next 2 questions are in regard to women by the brand and the new facility. So Conrad, you take the facility question, and then we'll get to one behind the brand, because I do want to hear a lot more about that.
Yeah, what's that new facility been like? I mean, obviously we were all students. We graduated in 2019 and 2020, and so the facility wasn't there. And obviously, none of us are football players, so we didn't get to experience anything really, except for watching from the stands. But what has that new facility been like for, you know, not only for the coaches, but the players and for y'all as well? And how do you guys think that sets us up, just Texas Tech up, going to the next, you know, 10, 15, 20 years of who we can be as a football program at a major university in Texas?
It's amazing. We had a bunch of creative minds that, I mean, they went and did their research. Pat Mahomes has come in and said this facility is better than anything he's ever been a part of. It's changing things. I mean, obviously.
And we have been to other places, and we could tell you firsthand, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, ridiculous in a great way.
Yeah. It's Texas Tech. Like, it is Texas Tech, over the top, glorious, friendly, like football friendly. It's to the T, to the double
Very
T.
cool. You know, I wanted to talk a little bit, you know, about that facility. I mean, I guess you guys watch from the coach's office or something like that, but what does a game day typically look for you guys like in Lubbock? Like, what is the routine? What are you guys doing? Let's say it's a 3:30 kick. You know, what does that typically look like for you guys?
We like 3:30.
What time? Tailgate.
2:30 is my favorite kick.
We're getting together about 10 a.m. for
Yeah,
about
11. We do a football family and friends tailgate.
Nice.
That we started
That's awesome.
when we came, and then we kind of migrate and mosey over to
we do the welcome
Raider
march.
Walk.
Raider
Walk.
Raider Walk.
Mm-hmm.
For the welcome march.
Welcome.
I can see Aisha telling her kids, let's go to the welcome march.
And kind of back up a little bit, the tailgate's amazing because the kids, they're throwing footballs. We've got cornhole and, you know, all the things that you would think. Oh, and I like going to the concert. So I bring, since all
man, good for you.
Yeah.
That's Jackie.
You live it up.
She's up on
I
stage.
enjoy.
I don't do that on KJ.
So anyway, I'm a football junkie, so I get to watch some of the other games.
Nice.
And
We put our bracelets on in the order that we're going to wear them for the whole season.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Very-
Bracelets.
And
We
if you
switch them
lose,
up.
we have to switch something up.
We've been known
Do
to
y'all do
to
that?
burn-
Like,
Yes,
y'all do
Debbie.
that at the
So
tailgate?
Whenever you give us bracelets for the year,
Yeah.
then we're
We
putting
put
them
'em
on.
on.
It's
But I mean, are they all in the exact order?
well,
Like,
personal order.
Yes.
oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I don't do the
okay, you're
tailgate.
not a
I
bracelet.
She doesn't know.
We've basically burned outfits when
Okay.
it doesn't.
Okay, so
very nice.
there's actually I wanted
Yeah.
okay, I wanted
There's
to
a-
ask if you guys have any game day superstitions. It sounds like yes. Sounds like
Yes, very much.
bracelets is one of them. Are there any others?
we move positions in the game if things are working out.
Just something that we can.
We'll
try to
sometimes
control.
even text and say rotate, change seat.
A-type.
Very A-type.
So we
all
can't
of us.
control so much. So if we can control little
Sure.
things, we take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's great.
But we are the ones that like are there for the party and all that. We are there to watch the game. That is it. In my suite, I still stay on the west side for the most part to watch the game. It's a large suite. I'm
Sure.
at the box in the corner. Nobody messes
Yeah.
with us. I've yet to break out of the suite and walk 4 doors down to the coach's office and grab the microphone and say, "What are you doing? Why are y'all doing that?" But yeah, I hang out over there for the most part. But we're not afraid to send a text saying everybody switch their seats, rotate.
That's
And I just
hilarious.
It's not working. Or
I just realized our offices, bam, bam, bam. We're all neighbors. So
Very nice.
we get to high five and maybe
Cry, jump
maybe
up and down.
cuss a little bit.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah, and I'll extend an invitation for the 4 of y'all. You can come to one of the first 3 games up to the office if you'll let
Oh
me.
man.
Oh, thank
And-
you.
We'll be there.
I'll be there. I will be there. I promise. After Jackie, I feel like me and you are on the same level. I'm kind of like, let's get on stage during the DJ. I want to, but then game time comes in. I'm hyper focused. But like anything before the game, I'm down. So that I can see at the Raider Alley tailgate first too, and then we can make our way up.
oh, Jackie's usually zoned in from the get go.
Yeah.
because
I'm coaching.
Yeah.
If I'm not like,
I was about to say, is the temptation to fire off a text to your husband, has it ever just become too
my God.
overwhelming?
I will but I've been doing that since he was in high school. Like if he's yelled at a kid or something, because I'll forget it. Because we don't have that rule where we don't talk football at home. That's all we talk about. And I'll text him during the game.
Does he
And-
like during halftime? Does he ever like check it to make, or are you like he's not gonna get it?
No,
Yeah, not during the game, but maybe like during a halftime. Restroom break. He's like, "Hey, got it, love you." Next, like talk after.
Oh,
No.
no.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't even answer it on our ride home.
Yeah, as you're next to him.
Because I drop Joey off on a home game Friday, and then they go to the hotel and all that, and then we hang out and ride home together. And so that's usually our time for a few minutes because we're going to win, and we come back and party here.
Nice.
That's awesome.
But if I texted him during that, he will not even acknowledge the text.
Yeah.
But then I'll go back and say, "Hey, I remember."
What were you thinking?
Hey, yeah, don't think I forgot about this question.
I'm going to start
We're down, dude.
our post-game analysis. I'm going to start giving Debbie a lot of credit for the coaching decisions. I'm going to say that she found her way and she's making all those calls.
Yes.
That's going to be my new take.
When they're good ones. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Only credit, no blame.
Yes,
Only credit.
Only credit.
So we wanted to talk. Oh, go ahead, Clayton.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so on the game day tailgates, what's your food of choice? Like, what's your favorite game day meal?
we've done everything.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's a
Different themes,
choice.
So
yeah.
I get
We do
themed.
different themes. Like if it's a morning, there may be mimosas and some breakfast items. We've done barbecue. We've done
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. We sometimes we
Burgers,
make
hot
it
dogs.
easy. Yeah, burgers, hot dogs. We have stuff for the kiddos and all ages. So it's pretty flexible.
Do you guys throw
it's-
tortillas?
Say
Do you
that again?
throw tortillas?
Yes.
Okay,
Jackie,
just checking.
Well, now that I've just outed myself on where my suite is and everything, yes.
I
His wife one day texted and said, "Is that y'all throwing out the tortillas?"
That's unbelievable.
Yep.
I'd
That is
imagine you guys are
unbelievable.
safe for being kicked out of the stadium for throwing a tortilla. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they were thinking about
I know.
Lubbock and Tech, like throw in the tortilla.
That's a great
That's all
tradition.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's what we're known for.
Yeah, even I don't know if have any gone off during the softball games yet. I haven't seen.
Wow. I don't know.
I'll be there. I'll be there on Thursday, so I'll throw one.
Throw 'em.
Yeah, I'll throw one.
Yeah.
You'll be
Yeah,
there
it'll
on
be
Thursday.
one
Brendan,
tortilla.
I'm trying to go on Thursday.
Yes, I'm going. I'm driving up to Oklahoma City. I'm hoping we're up 1-0. I wanted to pick. We're gonna win tomorrow, or This will be released, I guess, after the tournaments happen. So hopefully we're
June
national
9th.
champions by the time this gets released. But I'll be there on Thursday. Yeah. So.
Let me tell you, we're all in. I mean, our text thread was going off last night. We were so excited. It was fun.
Yeah. It is.
I could not.
Or go ahead.
I could not believe the game. I mean, with 2 strikes, 2 outs, the home run. I wanted to throw up. It was an awful feeling. But then it was all fine. 5 minutes later.
Oh, it's so great. It was so great.
Or Z, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to, maybe thinking of, some of the other stuff that you guys do, because you're obviously so involved in the community, and we've mentioned it a little bit, but the women behind the brand, talk a little bit about that. What was the genesis of that? How has it kind of evolved over the years? What are some of your favorite things about that? And I realize that's kind of 3 or 4 questions all lumped into one, and it's not necessarily directed at a particular individual.
Well,
but
I'll start.
Sure.
Y'all take over from. But we had been here just hot second, and I went into the meeting. And to the very first meeting saying, what are we going to do? How does it? And they already had a committee coming in. I don't think that they had like a group of wives. Literally, our wives do everything for it. And I said, and that's when Joey had come up with the brand. Everything was about the brand, the toughest, hardest working, most competitive team. Sure. And so I said, well, we want to change the name of it. And you hear women's clinic. Well, I think we're going to a women's,
I've never thought of that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, we want to be women behind the brand, and it has stuck, and it's been great. And
That's
I will
awesome.
tell y'all, we ask our donors, we ask businesses to pay for this, that, or whatever. Everybody says yes to us, and all of our money goes back to One Voice and the football. Mm-hmm. So y'all take over though from after that. I was just telling them how we got the name.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then we get the excitement going, not just for, guys, it's not a guy's sport. So again, there's so many women who support the Red Raiders or football. And so we show them why it's fun to even be with your girls, or why it's fun to love football. Mm-hmm. So I think it's cool the way that it's set up at Tech to where it is like a community rally. And I love that everyone loves going, and we hear about it every year.
It's just gotten bigger and bigger.
It's just getting greater, and I don't know how that keeps happening, but it does, because we're in the best city for this.
And they've got cool swag bags. And then we do learn a little bit about football. So every year I'm taking more notes too. Mm-hmm. And so then we have to deliver the notes, and then we talk about the fun experiences or game day, or then whatever they want to know. To a certain extent, we teach them, and then we'll go to different spots in the facility. And now that we have the greatest facility, that's actually a fun part of it, and you're not just being dragged along. That they look forward to that. So it's a party with football friends, and then you're giving back to the community, the city, the program.
One of my favorite things about the women behind the brand is, at the end, we take all the women down onto the field, and we run football drills with them.
That's cool.
Quarterback station, O-line station, linebacker, receivers. So at this point, everyone is having a really good time, and they are tackling dummies, throwing balls, and it is a blast. And they get kind of like a feel for the game a little bit. They get to know the players, they get to know the coaches' wives, and they get to feel like they're, kind of a part of it. And it's really cool to connect with the fans in that way.
Yeah. And it's fun. It has grown every year. We started first year with
350 the first year
participants, and every year it's grown. This year we're at over 1,000.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And it sold out in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Roughly. Good grief.
Yeah.
That is
really
amazing.
Fast. Great.
Yeah,
we tried to make it lower.
She can't say no.
Just message me. I'll get you in.
Yeah.
And I can't say no problem.
But it's amazing, and they get from the get-go. So they come in, and our football players and our street staff are they have like a double line, and they're running through it, and I'm cheering, and I'm trying to get them to do round-offs and cartwheels. And, there may be some beverages that help give them some and state dinner, and there's live auction, there's silent auction, all community-based items that have been donated. And then we do some crazy things. Sometimes we may have a fashion show. Sometimes we may auction off a date
with the bachelor.
Oh, wow.
With a bachelor.
Oh, man.
Nice.
You know, we did that one time.
How do you select?
Was that Kirk? Did y'all put Kirk Bryan up or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a few single coaches. There's opportunity.
Oh, man. I'm sure the coaches are bummed y'all discontinued that. I mean, come on. That's awesome.
And let's see what else. They get like you said, a swag bag, and it's filled with incredible stuff. I mean, they leave
This
happy.
year's is really good.
Yeah, they leave very happy and excited about
T-shirt and
Yeah.
go.
yeah. And we've been a part of some others, and we do it right. Debbie does it right.
I got to see it evolve from Mike Leach to what Debbie has done
Oh,
now.
wow.
So we have done.
It is not, I mean, Leach walked out there with his spit cup and was like, let's run this film. And, you know, and it was a lot of fun. But now it's just become this
It's like a vision
event
that we didn't know
that,
what it was.
yes, and it's really, really fun.
But
So
we
we're-
ask for feedback, and we try to make it bigger and better every year. I mean, not bigger.
Well,
If you guys,
Okay,
if you
so-
guys need some judges or some assistant coaches
boys.
there, just
No boys, Brennan, no boys.
what about our wives? Our wives would be great.
Yeah.
They could go instead of us, I guess.
Oh, they
Ask
asked
her,
her
'cause she
that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Debbie, I was about to say, so the event's July 28th this year, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so if people were wanting to attend, you said it's already sold out. If they're so enraptured by what you guys have said about it, how would they get tickets? How would they find something for that?
You know what? I'm gonna defer to them to reach out to to Jackie, because she'll actually say, or Jeri, either of them. These two probably wouldn't say no.
Okay.
These two
Well, we
We'll
won't
facilitate.
We won't do it then.
sold out. It is sold out, and we went about 250 people over, and
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll be a great
Very
event.
cool.
it's gonna be fun.
It is great. And we'll by as soon as it's over, we're already planning for the next year,
Cool.
making adjustments.
That's so neat.
It's a big production, and we put out ample notifications of save the dates and on all the social medias, and so
Very cool.
yeah. So if you couldn't get in this year, yeah, be on the lookout, because we're going to do it every year, and it's just going to get better and better.
And this year we have a really fun. Should we tell them or not?
You should tell us.
Yes,
I should.
You should tell us.
Inside a
You
dinner.
tell them. It was your idea.
we're gonna simulate a game day run out. So
Oh, man.
Oh.
Horse and everything.
Does this get filmed or no?
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
yeah, we're hoping to have the horse, and
The smoke. We'll have the smoke.
That's gonna be amazing.
Wow.
For all the
Give
ladies.
Joey will give a little pregame mock-up speech, and then the music, they'll come out where we see them on the video.
Yeah.
You know, we
Video
see
just like the players.
Yeah. That is going to be epic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a cool event.
I'm jealous.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I wish.
I
Yeah.
want to go. We can't go, but I'd love to go. But this question's for Debbie. A little going back in time here. We were all in high school. We graduated high school in 2015, and one thing that my dad, and my brother used to do is go to the high school state championships. And so I was actually at the 2013 and 2014 Cedar Hill State Championship games. I didn't realize that until when Joey got hired at Tech. I was like, wait, I feel like I know this, somewhere. Obviously knew the Baylor connection, but what were those high school days like? Do you ever miss those days? What was the best part about them? Obviously high school is different than college, but is it something that you look back on often and think, man, those were such great days?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, our first year here, that's every Friday night at an away game or here at home. I was constantly listening to the Cedar Hill games. I was still locked in on that, and we knew so many still of the players. But yeah, it's fun. Friday Night Lights is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like Saturday better.
Yeah.
We were very successful, and when Joey was deciding if he was going to go the college route, because we had been offered jobs I say we a lot because we do everything together. It seems like it's we. Yes, it's a family decision. Anyway, he had turned down a lot of college jobs, and I just said our son was graduating, and I was like, if you're going to do it, now's the time to do it. Or you can just go on and stay in high school and be the winningest coach one of these days. So, but we sure do like our decision that got us here.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a wild transition. And all of you, I mean, every coach I imagine here started somewhere like junior high, high school. Is it weird? Like, do you kind of like have a pinch me moment when you're in a stadium of 60, 70, 80,000 people, seeing your husband on the sideline from where they started? You've been through this long journey with them. Do you have those moments where you just kind of sit back and are like, we're here? Like maybe you didn't maybe it's not the end goal, but it's like, I can't believe I'm sitting here.
All the time.
Almost every game.
Yeah.
I hope I never.
Binoculars out, and I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack and Kenny, we all have talked about it because we were all both high school coaches. Y'all were never in the coaching high school, were y'all? Yeah.
Middle school.
Yeah.
PE coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're
It's really cool to see all your coaches' wives, friends, husbands be successful too. Because like Clay started as a grad assistant at Tech after he played at Tech, but we were with Lincoln Riley at Tech as a GA.
Wow.
Fun to see, all of your people be successful along the way too. It's just a really cool family.
And with that, we have a sisterhood all over the nation too. So not just, but all over the nation. And I'll also tell you, the two of us are daughters of Texas high school football coaches.
That's great.
Great. Yeah.
Which is good. Who said I would never marry a football coach? 20 years of marriage, and I'm still married.
I was a part of life.
Movie was that with the Remember the Titans? I was the
you
kid
were in the
stands. I was that kid.
Wow.
And I am that kid.
Yeah, you are so that kid. Yeah.
My mother was a daughter of a Texas high school football coach, and she's kind of the one that imparted into me, my love of football. My dad always coached me, but my mom was the one who loved the game. I remember when we watched the 2008 game, she was the only one that stayed up with me to watch it, and she wept like a small child whenever they won the game. And that's when I realized the passion around collegiate sports. But coaching, and what she used to talk about is just how hard of a profession it is. You guys you're sitting here at a D1 program, and that's maybe not the end goal. There's other things in mind and different things. But how hard is that initially starting out when your husband, saying, hey, I want to do coaching? It doesn't always work out. And I'm sure people where, they're still stuck or maybe not where they want to be. How hard is that leap of faith to take? Because you don't know where it ends. Maybe you never get out of the high school ranks, and that's just fine. But what is that like, kind of just on a personal level?
Well, this is where we started. I mean, we met when we were 21 in college, and Joey's going to be a CRNA, and he decided he wanted to go into coaching. So I don't really know anything different, but I do know that everybody hits a rough patch. It's not all flowers and rainbows in any marriage. And I remember going to our pastor, and he said the two couples that I counsel the most are military and coaches. Wow. And we've seen lots of husbands have to, either give up, marriages ending, or their husbands have to give up their passion because it's a lot. It's a whole lot of time away from your kids. I think that's one reason why I try to do something every month for our wives, because my kids are grown. I have the time to do it. But Aisha gets, she needs a break. She is mom and dad a lot of the time. So is Jeri. So if they can come, that's great. But I want them to know I see them, and I know how hard it is, because it's a lot of work. Yeah. It's not easy, but I always tell, it's like what I told my kids in college, you get out of it what you put into it. And that's why I think a lot of us are just all in, and we get to know the players. Joey is great with his open door policy that he wants us around. He doesn't have closed practices for us wives or kids, and he wants us to be around. And I love when our babies run up to Joey like they're best friends.
Yeah.
I call Uncle Jojo.
Uncle Jojo. Nice. That's awesome.
So y'all.
Yeah, Joey's great.
No, I didn't mean to. Joey's
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That helps in that aspect of, like, it's okay you feel okay going up there and being around because the husbands are always up there, you know? So you put your kids where dad is and they get to see his face. Cause sometimes there'll be days where he's gone before they get up and he's not home before they go back to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's good to have that open door policy.
We also support one another. So I've gone to her daughter's games and because Clay couldn't be there or, you know, vice versa. This one's a doctor. Good grief. I mean, she's my eye doctor. So it's definitely, it goes back to that family atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, one thing that's so noticeable just from the 45 minutes with you guys is how great a community y'all have off the field as well. And I think that's a huge testament to what really Texas Tech represents, like the culture, the family. It's just great to see that you guys have such a great friendship and a community off and on the field with all the wives on the team as well as the coaches. So that's awesome. As we close the show, I kind of wanted to go through a couple of questions specifically about Lubbock. It's kind of a rapid fire, so anyone can answer. Conrad is obsessed with coffee, so I have to ask the coffee question. I'm sorry. I wouldn't ask this coffee, but I'm going to start there with the best coffee in Lubbock is. It has to be it has to be a coffee spot.
No Starbucks.
No Starbucks.
7 Brew.
7 Brew. I was hoping somebody would say that.
Oh my!
Wow.
That there.
Okay, 7 Brew. Conrad, there's your coffee.
Conrad, your response. Your thoughts on
yes.
that?
Yeah, I think
What's your favorite coffee, Conrad?
Sugar Browns or Monmouth. I think those two are great. I mean, Monmouth won. I think they won the best small town, like best independent coffee shop in the nation, according to USA Today, about 6 months ago. So, I mean, and that's right there by campus. So, shout out to Monmouth Coffee.
Like I said,
you can just tell.
Yeah, you can tell Conrad's got a USA Today article ready to go on that coffee. Not just
the books behind the
shelf.
The books behind the shelf tell you that he's a coffee snob. You don't even have to ask.
Bring it.
Yeah. Okay. Next, best restaurant in Lubbock is.
Oh, I don't think Debbie can say anything. Can you? I mean, you can find Kenny and I on any night at the Plaza.
Okay.
On Slide and 114.
Y'all should invest in that.
We really should.
For sure. Kenny's got a drink. What is it? They bring the tea, but he has got a Yeti there that says Kenny on it.
That is awesome.
They just bring it out with his drink in there.
Yeah. That's when you know you made it.
It's amazing.
It is. That's when the question about what's your favorite thing, I would also say the food.
Yeah.
And I would also say a good cold schooner at Cap Rock Cafe.
Oh, nice.
You got some great answers, man. That is awesome.
Coldest beer.
And Las Vegas.
Okay.
We're always there.
And then Jeri, you got an answer?
For the beer or for the...
You can do both. You can do either. Either or.
Yeah, what's your favorite beer?
I really like Las Brisas a lot. That's one of my favorite places.
Nice. Hard to beat.
There's a lot of events there too.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, and F&B is good.
West Table. Those are...
You're hitting all the good stuff.
That's the great. Yeah.
But I can go on with food.
Okay. We'll get away from coffee and food, and I'll go. If you were a player, what position would you be or want to play? You have the skills challenge coming up in a month and a half. So, like, what are you going to be nominating there on the Woman Behind the Brand on July 28th?
I'm going to be a running back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Brennan, probably be a running back.
I think running back because I have a low CG and I love to hit people.
I'm thinking more like
linebacker.
Linebacker would work too. Linebacker would work, but I can't compete with our new ones. They're too big.
Okay, so Aisha,
up to you. Round us out.
I mean, obviously linemen.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm going to say she's going to be the holder, the deep snapper.
No, I'm going to be either the quarterback or the wide receiver.
Okay.
Kicker.
Oh, very cool.
That's great.
You could be a wide receiver.
Be a kicker too.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
Keep it going.
That's well, and I'm sure we'll see plenty of film from the 28th on that as well too. So,
Probably not.
well, I want to close. I want to close with the last question: is what are you most excited about for this upcoming season? Obviously, with the new facility, just the excitement coming into the new season. What are you most excited about? Is it just to see your husband's coaching on the field? Is it the potential success? Like, what are you most looking forward to for 2025 for Texas Tech football?
Winning the Big 12.
Oh,
I love
nice.
that confidence.
Nice answer.
Sorry.
No, that's I love it. That's what we need.
Yeah.
So when Garrett got here, my son, I was, I knew he'd straight shoot me. Joey is very positive, and he's always going to be positive about the team. And so I knew Garrett would be straight. And I'm like, so how are all the new players? How are we looking? He said, Mom, it's year 4 for Dad. So Joey got hired at 31, and a lot of people thought he was way too young to be hired at Cedar Hill. Year 4, we went 16-0. In one state our first year, and this is year 4 for us. So I'm about to get emotional, and my hair is kind of standing up, and I'm telling my own story. Anyway, so he said, Mom, it's year 4. So we're expecting big things for this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeri, Aisha?
To that aspect, like all the awesome pieces we have to see how the play comes together. Like, it's awesome celebrating each new player we're getting, and then the ones we have and what they work so hard for. I just get excited when the games start.
Yeah.
I want to see success and their work.
I'm really excited about our new coordinators too. I'm excited. I know my husband is really excited about the things we're doing offensively, and
Very cool.
I can speak on that because
if you haven't talked to him,
but he's real excited about what we're doing, and I love to see it all come together. So.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And thank you all so much for being on the show. I'll be totally transparent. When I heard this was happening, I was like, what are we going to do? Like, how is this going to work? And this was probably one of the most fun interviews that we've had. And I mean that sincerely.
The most fun, without a doubt.
I think this was the most fun. So we're just so excited. And thank you all for letting us in a little bit on not just the coaches' lives, but y'all's life as well. And I know that our listeners are going to get so much out of this, and we're just so thankful for y'all's time as well. And you're welcome back anytime on the Broadway Shuffle.
I love it.
Great. Can I return a shout out?
I have a shout out.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys get the final
All
word.
right. But this goes to Sarah Skubanek, and I think she knows a couple of you guys.
Yes.
She's one of my buddies, and she went with the Kitleys and to Florida, and don't tell them, but she's still a listener. So shout out to her. Hi, Sarah. Love you.
Sarah. We miss you.
And then a shout out to the other wives, because we couldn't all be here today, but we love our group.
Yes.
So I just want to say, hey, ladies.
There's 32 of us.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Aisha.
You can go.
I was just going to say, I think for the next time y'all are on, we should do all 32 in one room and see how that goes. I would be very down for that episode. So, Aisha, sorry, go ahead.
So my shout out goes to one of the OGs in the coaches' wives world, Zyler's grandmother, Joey King.
Oh, wow.
Always not disclose any private information, but she's a very proud grandma, and she is one of the OGs in the game. So
That's very kind of you to say that. Shout out Miki. We love you.
Shout out Miki.
Any other shout outs from Jeri and Debbie as we close? It's okay. That's okay. That's fine.
President Skubanek.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You were supposed to shout out President Skubanek. Yes.
Come back at me. Hey, shout out to our softball team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for being on, and we're looking forward to the 2025 season. And like I said, y'all are welcome anytime on the Broadway Shuffle. So we had a ton of fun. All right. Well,
don't forget to tweet and bye.
Thank y'all so much, and we'll see you next time on the show. Wreck 'em.